Hi, I'm Rochelle Travers, and this is the Standard's Tech and Science Daily. Coming up, crackdown on Airbnb-style holiday lets. Now, let's get into it. Is this the beginning of the end for mobile phones in schools?
Most schools want this. They can see now the impacts on mobile phone use in schools, on our children. They can see distraction, they can see the bullying being amplified.
Education Secretary Gillian Keegan speaking on BBC Breakfast there, about the new guidance announced to stop children from using mobiles in schools.
I think about a quarter of, or even more than that, schools that have implemented the ban say actually there's still surreptitious use in the classroom. So we really do need to reset this social norm and make sure that we empower head teachers to make sure that phones are not in use in the schools.
The guidance, which is non-statutory, instructs head teachers on how to ban the use of phones not only during lessons but during break and lunch periods as well. It also suggests that staff could search pupils and their bags for mobile phones if necessary.
I think, to be honest, that this will be successful because where it has been successful, you can see, and many people say, the improvement in behaviour, the improvement in performance, the improvement in the whole school culture is really tangible. So I think many head teachers want to do this.
New Airbnb-style rules to stop the hollowing out of local communities and help ease the housing crisis have been announced by Housing Secretary Michael Gove. Under the laws, people would be required to obtain planning permission from the local council if they want to let the property out as a short-term holiday home. A mandatory national register would also be set up, providing councils with information on short-term lets in their area. However, the rules don't apply to people renting out their main home for 90 days or less in a year. It's been reported that the European Union is poised to fine Apple about €500 million. The Financial Times reported on Sunday, citing unnamed sources, that the fine is over alleged breaches of EU competition law and is expected to be announced early next month. Last year, the European Commission accused Apple of distorting competition in the music streaming market via App Store rules that prevent developers from informing users of other purchasing options. Both the European Commission and Apple have so far declined to comment on the FT report. Now, hundreds of people campaigning for the right to roam in England are to descend on Dartmoor this week in an effort to highlight the limitations of the Countryside and Rights of Way Act. In 2000, the Act gave people a right to roam over certain landscape types, such as mountains, moorland, heathland, downland and commons. However, the campaign group Right to Roam argues that this landscape, known as access land and covering about 8% of England, is often surrounded by farmed fields and other privately owned landscapes, creating inaccessible islands of free-to-roam land. They argue that England's current system is ridiculous and are calling for access rights that echo what's in place in Scotland. Supporters will gather at Vixen Tor in Devon on the 24th of February, in what organisers say will be the largest mass trespass in a generation. A breakthrough with a new class of lab-made proteins could hold great promise in enhancing the body's defense against neurodegenerative conditions. Scientists, including those from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, found that the lab-made protein polymers can enhance the body's antioxidant response, known to be crucial for protecting against many such diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and the muscle-wasting condition ALS. A common thread connecting these diseases is the accumulation of highly reactive ions and chemicals within cells, adding stress to tissues and organs. Researchers now developed these small polymers to mimic the body's natural proteins, ensuring they penetrate within cells, remain stable, and resist being broken down. Let's go to the ads. Coming up, the frog that's baffled scientists, and is a follow-on to the Nintendo Switch finally in the works. To stay up to date with all the latest tech and science news, just hit follow during the break. Welcome back. Scientists have been left baffled following the discovery of a frog with a small mushroom sprouting from its legs in the foothills of India's Western Ghats. The frog wasn't able to be captured for further research, but analysis of a photo of it confirmed it's a Rau's intermediate golden-backed frog, a species native to the region. Fungus experts also identified the mushroom to be a bonnet mushroom, which is known to occur mostly on rotting wood. Researchers affiliated with the World Wildlife Fund say the findings mark the first ever time a mushroom has been spotted growing on live animal tissue. X has reportedly finally paid off the staff it sacked in its African headquarters, more than a year after they were laid off. Most had only been in the job based in Ghana for a few months when the social media platform, formerly known as Twitter, fired them in November 2022. They had threatened to take X to court for failing to pay the redundancy money they said that they were promised. The company has not publicly commented, but X has previously said that it had paid ex-employees in full. And finally, Nintendo shares fell 6% on Monday after a number of reports that its next-generation console will be delayed until early 2025 from later this year. While Nintendo has not commented on plans for a successor, the Kyoto-based gaming firm is widely expected to be working on a new device to follow on from its aging Switch console, which has now been on the market for 8 years. Interestingly, the company raised the full-year sales forecast for the Switch earlier this month, as the hybrid home portable device continues to attract customers. If you're up to date, come back at 4 p.m. for the Standard podcast for all the latest news and analysis. Tech and Science Daily will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. See you then.